Yes, and that was the music video from our very own Red Records artist Janine Weigel, who released her hit single last Friday. Well, we hope that you enjoyed the pre-show that we've put on before the main show that takes place after this. So let's get our program started, and with that, I would like to wish a very good morning to Dato' Kamarudin Meranun, Executive Chairman, AirAsia Group Berhad, Tan Sri Tony Fernandes, CEO, AirAsia Group, Irene Omar, President, AirAsia Digital, AirAsia Group, the rest of the management team from the whole AirAsia Group who are here today as well, and of course, not forgetting the media friends who are here in this hall, as well as the over 40 media from across the region who are calling in via Zoom into this media briefing. Just for everybody's information, we have media from Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, and China tuning in to our media briefing today. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AirAsia Digital media briefing. And before we proceed any further, there are just a few, simple housekeeping reminders I would like to tell all of you to make sure that first and foremost, keep your face masks on at all times. And please do follow the physical distancing markings that have been put up here in the room, especially on the seating. And do try to sanitize your hands regularly. So, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the last few years, you've heard a lot about how AirAsia has embarked on a digital transformation journey to become more than an airline. Through the wealth and quality of data that AirAsia has gathered over the years, a very strong ecosystem has been established for AirAsia to be a fully fledged digital company. So previously known as RedBeat Ventures, established in 2018, AirAsia Digital will further synergize the group's ventures under its wings. So, for everyone to better understand what AirAsia Digital is all about, please pay attention to the screen.
Hi there. You may know us quite well from our airline business, the world's best low-cost airline. But we're here to tell you a little bit about our digital business. AirAsia Digital is a culmination of our entrepreneurial spirit, innovation, and technology that is infused into everything AirAsia does. Our three main pillars are Venture Builder, Technology Academy, and Data Center. We incubate and grow strategic businesses, some of which are spin-offs from AirAsia's business unit, where our key focus areas are platform, logistic and e-commerce, and financial services. At RedBeat Academy, we aim to future-proof the coming generation by providing a one-stop service in tech, leadership, and innovation that will be a key catalyst for the digital economy in the ASEAN region.
Across the AirAsia Group, we have data teams that work together to leverage the wealth of data amassed over the years to provide insights for businesses and deploy data science algorithms and models to improve key metrics in our ecosystem of businesses. We are also investing heavily in the next version of our customer intelligence platform that will fully utilize the data with advanced AI and ML technologies.
AirAsia.com is ASEAN's fastest growing super app that caters to customers' travel and lifestyle needs, all in the convenience of one platform, one account login, and one unified payment checkout across 15 lines of product offerings, including snapping your flights and hotel deals, booking your scuba diving activity in Sabah, cross-border shopping for your favorite perfume and have it home delivered, and now even ordering your fresh groceries with express delivery within the same day. Now all of these are available at the convenience of your fingertips on your mobile app on AirAsia.com.
We're the logistics venture under AirAsia Digital. So what do? Simply, we're a delivery company. We make it easy to connect anything in 24 hours or less in Southeast Asia. Why do we do it? Because we want anybody to be able to access these amazing delivery experiences to deliver food, groceries, or parcels anytime.
BigPay is building a challenger bank for ASEAN. We are already one of the largest e-wallets in Malaysia by value of transactions, and we have well over 1 million users. We have 3 core pillars to our business: payments, for everyday top-of-wallet usage; remittance, to send money seamlessly and at low cost internationally; and thirdly, a contextualized lending product, which we are launching very soon.
We have a very unique ecosystem, whereby that we are ASEAN biggest loyalty and marketing platform, whereby all our members, their ability to earn points, earn big and live big, and the points are basically borderless and open loop, whereby they can really use their points to book everything within the AirAsia Group, from flights, hotel, activities, and enjoy amazing deals with great discount and offers.
Together, all our businesses create a truly unique and impressive synergy. AirAsia Digital is the next phase in AirAsia's evolutionary journey. We've grown from being just an airline into an all-in-one digital travel and lifestyle ecosystem, one that doesn't just provide a seamless experience to our customers, but also helps broaden their horizons by enabling them to truly have it all.
Yes, and just as what Irene Omar said in the video, this is just to see if you were paying attention. Irene said, AirAsia Digital is the next phase in AirAsia's evolutionary journey. So today, all of you here will have first-hand information about how AirAsia Digital will contribute on that journey for the AirAsia Group. So let's not wait any further. Please let me have the pleasure of inviting Tan Sri Tony Fernandes, CEO AirAsia Group, up on stage to deliver his keynote.
Morning, everyone. I'll give you a bit more detail on this kind of very exciting time in our history. As you know, we grew up as an airline, and before COVID, actually, we started this process on this digital journey because we felt we had huge amount of data. And so now we have really 2 groups, the airline group and AirAsia Digital. And today we're going to talk to you about AirAsia Digital. So, as you know, 18 years ago, almost 19 years ago, that was me and Kamarudin on the first day that we took over AirAsia. I'm slightly thinner, but I'm heading back towards that weight soon. Kamarudin actually is thinner. So that's what we started 19 years ago, and the resemblance to what we're doing now is so uncanny. We're the new kind of digital story in town versus the big boys of Grab and Gojek and all these other guys. Just like when we started 19 years ago, we only had 2 planes against Malaysian Airlines and Singapore Airlines and all these national carriers, but we were able to build a business. And we believe with the people we have, and you met some of them on the stage, and you'll see them later on the video, sorry, and the data that we have and the product that we have, we'll be able to grow in the same way AirAsia grew 19 years ago from 2 planes to presently 275 planes. So from those 18 years ago, we've now carried 600 million people, 100 million a year, 160 destinations, 246 aircraft, and 24 hubs. Now we know COVID is going to change those numbers quite dramatically, but the story is we built something from 2 planes, and that's our ambition today as we continue this very exciting journey on AirAsia Digital. So while some of these other apps are underpinned on food or underpinned on mobility, ride-hailing, etc., we are very clearly underpinned on travel and logistics. So AirAsia's roots are on moving people from A to B and moving cargo from A to B. And that is the basis of AirAsia Digital and the basis of our platform, AirAsia.com. The big plus we have is we have a brand. So over the 2 years, we've been playing with many different brands. Originally, our idea of a super app was going to be under our rewards program, Big Life, and that's why we came up with the brand Big Life. And then one day, Kamarudin said to me, "Hey, doesn't it make more sense to use AirAsia? We've spent so long building this brand, and it's a global brand which has won numerous awards." And I thought, yeah, that makes complete sense. So we changed everything back to AirAsia because AirAsia is our strongest brand. We've been playing with other brands like Our Food and Our Shop and all these things, but really in our research, everybody in Asia knows AirAsia. So we're going to go back. And if you think about it, you know, Amazon started selling books, and now they're selling cloud space. So we have no fear that while everyone thinks of AirAsia as an airline, over the next few years, people will know us for doing more than just selling AirAsia tickets. And that's not a difficult process with what we have in store. I mean, this is very clear. I think this slide, just for people, we are a digital company. 18 years ago, we were the first airline to use the internet to sell tickets. And we were the first kind of company to really embrace social media. So digital has been in our body. First airline in Southeast Asia to put Wi-Fi on the plane, faces, contactless. We've always been at the cutting edge of technology. So this movement into this tech world, this pivot, has been a very natural change. And part of this whole story is about diversifying our revenue, which becomes even more apparent in this post-COVID world, or COVID world and becoming post-COVID world. We always had that idea that we didn't want to be just one source of income from the airline. And as you see, digital companies have benefited from COVID, while airlines such as ours have suffered dramatically. But at least we started that process. Would have been better if we were 1 year early. But we're in a nice position to benefit from this online revolution that has accelerated due to COVID. The other thing that we are looking at building over the years, Irene has set up, is in the video, but we're building an academy, which is just like we did in AirAsia. We built our pilot academy very early on. Because you can have all the metal you want, but if you don't have the people to fly the planes, then you're kind of in a difficult position. So again, early on, partnering with Google, we built an academy, because we think the most important thing in our journey in AirAsia Digital is to have the right people. Initially, we built it to retrain our own staff. As we moved into this digital world, we realized that some of the staff functions would change. But now we're accelerating that because we will need a lot of talent to build what we're trying to build now. So what is AirAsia Digital? You saw a bit of it on the video. Number one, it's our platform, AirAsia.com. One of the biggest apps in Asia, 60 million users. And even in this COVID world, still one of the most highly trafficked apps and websites in Southeast Asia and Asia. It's been our backbone of growing from 2 planes to 246. It is very robust in handling all these transactions, the 600 million people you saw in the earlier slide. And now we're going to open that very powerful app and website to many, many more products. It is underpinned by logistics and e-commerce, which is Teleport, our financial services division, Big Rewards and Big Pay, and finally our food and beverage side, Santan, which is underpinned by our very famous nasi lemak, and our farm, which is a new product, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So AirAsia.com today, this is our new logo, And our tagline, now everyone fly, still stays for the airline business, but for AirAsia.com, it's now for everyone. What we're building is for everyone. Just like we did for the airline, now everyone can fly. We allowed everyone to fly. Now we have the opportunity with the products we're building from Big Pay to Teleport to Santan, that there's something for everybody on AirAsia.com. And that's our new tagline. That is our new logo. The airline logo will remain the same, and AirAsia.com and our digital division will now take on this new logo. Red still is the color because that's what everyone knows us for. We talked about different colors, etc. But red is the color. So what is on our super app? I know this word is used a lot as a super app, but our version is really that there's going to be much more for people, and we believe through AirAsia.com you will spend a lot more time on AirAsia.com and a lot more time in the day using the services that we have. So let's run through it very quickly. Flights, you know, but we're not only selling AirAsia flights now. We're selling all sorts of airlines, from Turkish Air to Qatar to even, I think, Lion Air. So we now have all airlines being sold on us. We have ended our relationship with Expedia, and now we're building our own hotel supply, and we have supply from people like Expedia and Agoda and lots of others, but we're building our own supply as well. And obviously, we know our supply better because we know where people are flying. So we know next month who is going to Langkawi, and hence we can have a big advantage in terms of dealing with hotel operators. As Karen snapped her fingers, this is a very exciting product, and we want to change the way people fly. So you automatically buy your hotel straight away. In the past, you buy your flight, then you choose your hotel. As we get more data, when you choose your destination, the hotel will be pre-populated. And that's growing really well. It's been a very exciting launch and growing rapidly. Activities like Klook, deals, which is underpinned by our unlimited offering. Again, we've learned from Amazon and Netflix and Spotify, and we're coming out with our own version of unlimited, which has been launched in Malaysia and Thailand to big success. I think Thailand being really a huge success. Malaysia, there was a little bit of skepticism. Would there be blocking of flights, etc.? But now people are seeing how much value there is in unlimited. And very soon we're going to do unlimited domestic in Malaysia, version 2. So keep your eyes out for that. I think it'll be incredible value and may include some extra benefits from our super app. Ancillary, you know all about, Ikhlas, which is really targeting the Muslim market, of which we serve a large part of that market, and bringing them into the mainstream. And it's named after the founder, Ikhlas, and is a really exciting product in making, giving Muslims their choice of a lifestyle, which is slightly different from others. Health, we're going to underpin this with mental health, and things will come out soon. And of course, our Wi-Fi product on the aircraft. And AirAsia.com will now be on the Wi-Fi on our aircraft when you log in. E-commerce, we're very focused. We're not really there to burn billions of dollars. Shop, which is headed by Rose, is all about duty-free shopping and outlet mall shopping, and cross-border shopping. It is modeled on Kamarudin. What he generally does when he travels to a destination, he buys duty-free, he then buys on the aircraft, he lands in the airport and buys again, and then he goes shopping, and then on the second day he will go to an outlet mall. So everything you did when you traveled, or when Kamarudin traveled, you'll be able to do from the comfort of your home and delivered to you at home by teleport services. So our e-commerce is really focused on our logistics. We believe all e-commerce is driven by great logistics. And Pete and his team in Teleport are looking at guaranteeing delivery anywhere in Southeast Asia within 24 hours. We're going to be very proud of the last mile delivery guys. They're going to look good. They're going to be trained well. They'll give you great customer service. And anything you buy from Rosa's shop, from AirAsia shop, be it beauty products or fashionable products, you'll be able to get to your home, if it's in a different country, within 1 day, or in KL, we hope within a few hours. We already have 2,000 riders, and AirAsia shop every day is growing very rapidly. Yesterday was the record sales, and we put no promotion behind it except the launch. AirAsia Food is originally was called Our Food. We're changing it now. It's our version of delivery food. We hit a record this month with 3,000 orders, and it's growing very rapidly. It is here we're trying to democratize food delivery. We're going to charge restaurants a zero commission and only a delivery charge. And we're going to make the delivery charge very transparent to try and drive people to order from closer by restaurants. And Fresh is our version of a grocery store. Again, from our knowledge, we've been shipping fresh products all over Asia. Fish from Sabah, vegetables from Thailand, etc. So we thought, why not consumers have a chance to get this fresh food within a day? So presently, a lot of the fresh food is on our shop. When we launch our new app, which will be imminent, then there will be a category just to sell fresh food and delivered. So both all three e-commerce products are delivered by Teleport, and that's under Pete, and he's also running the e-commerce side of the business. Finally, finance, which will also be, all these products will be on AirAsia.com. So BigPay, which has been a real success, now 750,000 carded. Our GMV per month is about $80 million. It is one of the top apps in Malaysia. Within the next few weeks, we'll be launching in Singapore. We already have a wait list of 20,000 people in Singapore. As Chris put on his video, it's payment, it's remittance, and very soon a lending product as well. So a lot of that functionality is on their, all their functionality is on their app, but to increase the velocity and the number of transactions on AirAsia.com, some of the features on BigPay will be available on AirAsia.com. Big Rewards, which is run by Spencer, the company name is Big Life because that was going to be our super app, so we're rebranding all of that. And it originally started as Big Loyalty, which are loyalty points, which is one of the largest loyalty programs in Southeast Asia, run by Spencer. And I think there's some more slides actually. Our insurance tech, we think insurance is a big market for the market that flies with us, or the data that we have, but we're only selling travel insurance. We're going to be selling all types of insurance going forward. A very exciting product that Spencer and his team has developed, Big Exchange. Already we have partners such as JD.com, True in Thailand, Petronas, where you can swap your points into big points. And we're going to build a wealth management portal as well on AirAsia.com for those who want to buy unit trusts or get loans, etc. Okay. So how are we going to do this with people who've got tons of money out there and are losing tons of money as well? Our aim is not to lose money. Our aim is to make profits, and bar Big Pay, because of the interchange, everyone else is profitable already. So the reason for that is we don't have to spend a lot on marketing. That is the key, lower customer acquisition costs. And we have a huge database throughout ASEAN and Asia, and we know our customers pretty well. high KYC, they spend a little bit more with us because of our flight. And so we know those customers very well. And our data digital team have been really great at converting a lot of that traffic. The traffic initially is to AirAsia.com. Now we're going to convert it to all the products that I just mentioned to you. We've also built new channels. Very soon, AirAsia Connect will be launched, which is our chat channel, very similar to WeChat, but community-based and one-to-one chat. We already have 1 million users, even though we haven't really launched it. And it's going to be promoting content, obviously be an advertising platform, but allow us to talk directly to our customers, but also allow our customers to talk directly to us and talk to other people and connect with other people. The third most powerful thing is single sign-on. With one sign-on, you can transact on AirAsia.com, on any of our sites. You'll be able to use big points on any of our sites, from food, etc. And one idea we are thinking about is also for credit shells, etc. You'll be able to transact, not only for flights, but you'll be able to use some of that for food or hotels, etc., etc. And then finally, learning from, I think, one of the greatest e-commerce companies, Amazon, one click. You can pay on any of the sites with just one click. So these are the 4 reasons that we think we have a good chance of being successful and profitable. Lower acquisition costs, great engagement, which is what we've always been very good at, and that's why our advertising, even within the airline, is one of the lowest in the world. Single sign-on, this has been my big project for years and years and years, and we're finally there with one login and one sign-on. And very soon, you won't be able to use AirAsia.com without signing on, similar to Amazon and other big websites. And I think payment is critical. We have a wonderful guy heading up our payment who's worked really hard, Mo, and we think we want to make payment as easy as possible. We're looking at facial recognition, thumbprints, etc. Anything that will make payment easy. We think to reduce the friction will allow people to use us much more. Okay, and sorry, before I go on to Teleport, the data we've acquired is over 19 years, while many of the digital companies I've started is much younger and much quicker. We've got a huge amount of data over these 19 years that we know our customers very, very well, and we know what they want. So very soon, in fact, already in some places, the website is personalized for you. So Teleport, which was named by Pete, is a very exciting digital and logistics company that I briefly talked about in the first slide. So what are we doing now and what are we going to do? Number one, we're a fantastically strong cargo operator, the strongest cargo operator in Asia. Only Singapore Airlines has more tonnage than us, but that's because they fly to Europe and America. But there's no airline that flies to all the destinations that we fly. And as Riyadh just told me, we've been cleared now to put cargo on our seats. So we have kind of de facto cargo planes. And we're able to carry all kinds of new cargo that we weren't able to do before. So we're not far away from the DHLs and FedExes of the world with our 330s and our 320s. So we're a cargo company, we're a delivery company. We can organize e-commerce logistics much better than anyone else. If you look at Amazon, they're now trying to get planes and airports. We have planes, and obviously we have access to airports. And we want to build a very strong platform, so it'll be easy for people to cross-border. We think the opportunity for cross-border commerce is huge, and we think we have the tools to be able to do that. So, as I mentioned earlier, Teleport is really logistics and e-commerce and affordable 24-hour cross-border delivery across ASEAN with real real-time updates. And we're working with custom authorities and all these kind of guys for quick clearance, etc. So in the same way that AirAsia disrupted passenger travel, we think we have a wonderful opportunity to bring logistics into the 21st century, make it fast, make it cheap, make it as efficient as what's happening in China and the US. We're even experimenting with drones right now, drone delivery. And so obviously, we're known for our air logistics. Now we add on last mile and bring the unique AirAsia experience to your door and your delivery. Your delivery man will be in red with a red bag, and we hope will be as professional as our crew and our pilots and our ramp boys, who we gave a real brand towards. If you look at the guys who are the heroes in AirAsia, it's our ramp boys who carry 3.5 tons of luggage on and off the plane in 25 minutes. We will bring that same level of professionalism and passion and loyalty to our riders and car delivery guys going forward. Big Pay, which if you want to really think about, can AirAsia do this? Which I'm sure there's many skepticism. And that's exactly the skepticism that was there when Kamarudin and me started AirAsia. Two guys from the music business, no experience in airlines, no real financial backing, how are they going to survive? And we did. Big Pay is an example of what can be done with the AirAsia brand, the AirAsia ecosystem, and the AirAsia data. In the space of 2 years, Chris and Navin and the team have done an incredible job. Painful for me sometimes, dealing with them, but they've done an incredible job. And this Big Pay is my pièce de résistance to show what we can do with data and our brand and ecosystem. The dream is to be an ASEAN digital bank, the same dream Kamarudin and me had when we started AirAsia, was to make ASEAN a smaller place, to build an ASEAN airline. And I think we've succeeded. People think of us as the home airline in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Philippines, even in Singapore. So we believe with our data and our brand, we can be the first ASEAN digital bank. I'm sure many of you have downloaded the app in Malaysia. My wife, who is Korean, thinks it's the greatest app she's used. She compares it all with her Korean apps. And I see more and more people using Big Pay. I use it all the time. It's very, very easy. Payment, remittance, lending, and in the future, insurance and wealth management. Wealth management being unit trusts, robo-advisory, etc. An SME product, which again, we think a lot of our flyers are SME companies, and so this is a real potential to help SME companies a lot. And a marketplace for financial products and content. Insurance and wealth management will be both available on Big Pay and will be slightly different on AirAsia.com, but they will both be available. But the dream is to be an ASEAN financial bank in the same way we stuck together ASEAN to make it easy for people to go to Thailand or go to Vietnam, or we're going to make financial services easy for ASEAN in terms of transferring money, in terms of SMEs expanding, in terms of wealth management, and so on and so forth. So the value proposition, largest e-wallet by GTV in Malaysia. This is the first time we've ever said that publicly. Everyone talks about Boost and Grab and Touch and Go, but really on GTV size, we're the largest in Malaysia. And I think that's an incredible accomplishment from both the AirAsia team and the Big Pay team. Everything has been built in-house, and we've built a bank. The only bit that we haven't built right is interest, paying interest. Everything else is a bank. The other e-wallets are purely e-wallets. We have built a bank already, and obviously we will apply for a banking license when that becomes available in the not too distant future. I think our KYC is on another level from anyone else, because we've gone through the very stringent regulators, both in Malaysia, Bank Negara, and Monetary Association of Singapore, Authority of Singapore. And so our KYC is bank grade through our remittance product. Data, obviously, open loop and local international transaction is going to be our strength. And as I mentioned, we've already got key licenses in Malaysia and Singapore, and we're way down the process in Philippines and Thailand. Big rewards, which is, we're a little bit ahead of time. We haven't actually renamed this. We're the first putting it out there. Again, everyone likes rewards. Everyone wants to be instantly gratified now. Loyalty has been superseded by rewards, so we'll just move with the time. Spencer and team also have done an incredible job in moving forward. While big reward loyalty has its own app, we hope in the future to increase the velocity of AirAsia.com. Most of the transactions will be on AirAsia.com going forward. And Spencer's team is an incredibly important team for us in terms of attracting customers, whether Pete's delivering food or Rose is selling shopping products. We can use our points both as a payment or as a commission to drive people forward. And with big exchange, more people will aggregate their points with us going forward. So the first digital currency of ASEAN, it's not a currency by the way, otherwise we get regulated, but a form of payment throughout ASEAN. It's available on AirAsia credit cards, big points, big exchange, big deals, and our gift card, big gift card. On the right is our mascot, Biggie, which is modeled after our CFO in Big Life, and Spencer, though he's a bit smaller now, and me. 25 million members, 2.7 app downloads, 300 plus partners, 30 million transactions a year, and a points balance of 13 billion. There are not many loyalty stroke reward systems that have done what we've done over the years. And we're now extending the ecosystem to increase the usage of big points, which was predominantly only in the AirAsia ecosystem. Big points is now available at all these well-known companies. And it is becoming the de facto rewards stroke loyalty system of ASEAN. Santan, so everyone thought I was completely mad when I decided to brand our food. The history of our food, and again, this is where AirAsia is good, that we create value out of nothing. Airline food has always been seen as not so good, not popular, but just a necessity. But we created, Din and me, we said we wanted our airline to be for the people, and we created food that we thought people wanted, not created by some French chef in Paris or some American famous chef. So we created local food, which I won't go through, you all know it now. And obviously it's incredibly popular. Nasi lemak is the #1 selling dish on AirAsia Philippines, and they've never had nasi lemak before. And so we created this ASEAN flavor, an ASEAN brand, and because nasi lemak was our #1 dish, we created Santan, because nasi lemak is cooked from Santan. And we branded our airline food with the dream one day of having our own restaurants. Now, you know, we've grown up with McDonald's and KFC, and coming into this cinema, they're all outside, you know, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, etc. But when you go to America or London, there is never anything from our part of the world to compete with them. So we started that journey, lofty journey, that one day Santan could be as well known as KFC or Burger King or McDonald's. Big dream. But hey, 19 years ago, when we started AirAsia, no one had heard of AirAsia. Now, the world knows us. So, tagline from ASEAN with Love, we launched our first 2 restaurants in Mega Mall and Sunway just recently, both doing very well. We got our franchise license, and I think we've got 20 franchisees now that have applied for a license. And Irene is working on a store in New York and China, and our team is also working on one in London as we speak. We've just had the company registered in London. So the dream of making Santan a globally recognized restaurant is way on its way. What is Santan Group? It creates food for our planes. It has its own kitchen. And I think the second part of this is when we were all studying overseas, we used to go to these restaurants where we used to bring back food from our country. But we've now invested in technology where you can have the nasi lemak and keep it for up to 6 months, is it? Up to 6 months, so long-lasting food. So we'll be able to export our nasi lemak all over the world. And it tastes as good as what you get in the restaurant or on the plane. So we're having our own kitchen, we have our franchise that I talked about, and our farm, which I think there's another slide, so I'll talk about that separately. Why is it in the digital group? Because we've used a lot of digital in getting to where we are, in our long-lasting food, in our supply chain, in ordering, in dealing with Pete's delivery drivers. There's a lot of digital science that has gone into Santan. Irene's dream and Catherine's dream is to have a robot restaurant where there are no people. They took me to one in MIT. I'm not convinced that that will happen anytime soon, but never say never. I still like the human part of ASEAN. And again, if you go into Santan in Mega Mall or Sunway, you'll see staff that are slightly different with a personality, who are proud to work there. You hopefully develop relationships with them, and it won't just be a guy that you see one day and then next week he's not there anymore. Santan also, we've created lots of products from ASEAN that can be sold in supermarkets, that will be sold online. We have our own peanuts, our own chips. You're eating some of the... people asked for popcorn today. We don't have popcorn. We have our own kropo. And we have a whole selection of products, which includes tea products. We've rebranded Tea & Co. into Santan Express, and that will be also just like the McDonald's cafe, where we'll be selling our tea stuff and cakes and snacks. So we have a whole lot of it. Obviously, the other day they launched nasi lemak ice cream, which I thought sounded revolting, but actually was really nice. I got a massive like nasi lemak ice cream. That sounds disgusting, but it was really, really good. And that's again the pioneering and kind of spirit of AirAsia, that we're always looking for new things. Packaging has been great. I see McDonald's has now copied us with their nasi lemak, but I can guarantee you our nasi lemak is 10 times better than McDonald's. I went to try it out the other day. I'm doing a speech for them anyway, so they're a fantastic brand and we want to copy them on many things, but we're better than them on nasi lemak. Okay, so the last piece, our farm, which is run by Lalita, came back from when Catherine, the story of our farm was Catherine, my goal for Catherine was always to reduce the cost. I really wanted our meals to be under 10 ringgit. And she always said the cost of chicken was too high, the cost of vegetables were too high. She wanted to start her own chicken farm. At that point, I said no. Adventurous as me and Din are, we didn't want to get into farming. But we then started working with farmers and looking at their problems and looking at their margin, and then we thought, hey, we can help you with what Teleport is building, with what Irene is building with data science. And so we created our farm. And our farm is now picking up about 200 restaurants, 200 farmers, 275 farmers, and about 60 restaurants we're serving. The idea is that we increase the income for farms and reduce the cost to restaurants. And by doing that, by removing the middleman as much as possible. So where farms can deal direct with restaurants like Santan through our platform and our logistics change. For restaurants, they also have the advantage of working with big points, big rewards, big pay, and our database. And of course, Pete's AirAsia food. And we can provide that, and on top of that, provide them cheaper food. So it's a complete end-to-end food ecosystem built on data, which is vertically integrated. Obviously, we have great product, affordable, farm to table, and we empower local producers. Our whole idea is to give local producers a chance to sell their products around the world. And finally, I mentioned it in the thing, Irene's done this all by herself, to be frank. This is their new logo, which is interesting. RedBeat Academy. It looks like 2001 Space Odyssey, but who cares? It's an academy. So Irene's obviously watched a lot of very old space movies. And but we'll all remember that anyway. So RedBeat Academy, I think Irene's done an amazing job, to be honest, in partnership with Google. It's in Central, opposite AirAsia.com's office. It'll be launched next week. And it's all about reskilling our own staff initially and providing talent for all our CEOs and data and tech people. But it's taken a whole life of its own. And now we've created an edutech company, which of course is a very sexy word in the financial world right now. We have 2,000 students and many, many big corporations coming to us now to reskill and retrain their staff. And so what was an idea, just like for those of you who followed us for a long time, AirAsia Academy was just for AirAsia pilots, but in the end we opened it up and made it a very profitable business. RedBeat Academy was only for AirAsia staff, but now is going to be a profit center, and I think a very, very successful profit center and a very useful profit center as Malaysia and ASEAN moves into this digital world. And we're going to thank Google, and I think Shin Mei, who's been here, who has done a hell of a lot to help us. Google has been a great partner of our digital journey. We put all our eggs into Google. We exclusively work with Google. All our cloud applications on Google, and they have been really heavily involved in our artificial intelligence and our data science, which is our kind of secret sauce. If there was a KFC secret recipe, that's our secret sauce. So to introduce the people behind this, so that me and Kamruddin can eventually retire and use these products on a full-time basis. I don't know, you're going to change the lights around so I can introduce them. Is that feasible, Lightman? But Irene Omar, why don't you stand, Irene, who's been with us forever, president of AirAsia Digital, Karen Chan, who is CEO of AirAsia.com, Mr. Biggie himself, Spencer Lee, CEO of Big Rewards. I don't know how to pronounce this. Pete Charon Wong Sak Pak, whatever. Teleport CEO. Chris Davidson's not here. He's in Singapore, about to be tested and quarantined, and probably not allowed out of his quarantine. He's coming back from Singapore. But Navin is a co-founder of BigPay with Chris. Catherine Goh, who's done a fantastic job in Santan. And Lalita, who's the CEO or GM of our farm. So that's the team that's going to take us forward, along with all the guys behind them, working with our wonderful airline team as well. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You're the first to hear it today of our pivot. We didn't sit down and cry about COVID. Well, maybe we did for a while, 1 or 2 days. But we got onto Zoom. We didn't stick our heads in the sand. We didn't blame anyone else. We got on and really accelerated these digital plans. It was one of the benefits of COVID, if there was one. You know, when you're running an airline that's carrying 100 million people, it's very hard to get everyone together and focused. But with COVID, and we're all stuck at home, Zoom became our meeting room to really push this up. And over the last 6 months, really the amount of work we've done is incredible, actually, and really focused. Change brands, change names. You know, it's been really tough on the team. I'll wake up in the morning. Kamrin would have called me at 5:30 after he prays and said, "What about this idea? What about this?" And you know, even down to Ikhlas, how we have digitalized Islamic lifestyle is quite incredible. The ideas that are coming out, and so I want to thank all the team, not just the CEOs, but all the team that have put in hours and hours of work. And I think come October the 8th, when we launch this, it is step one of a very, very exciting journey that we're going to be going on. We thank you for coming and seeing this, the start of this journey. Both for me and Kamruddin, it reminds us of, you know, the excitement, the fear, are we doing things right, etc. 19 years ago when we started with those 2 planes, flying to Penang and actually not flying to Penang. Our first destinations were KK, Kuching, and Langkawi. And now is, can we deliver this? But looking at the work we've done in the last 6 months, I really feel we can, and I think we can be profitable very, very quickly. And so I hope you share my excitement. I hope you begin to use AirAsia Digital like you do AirAsia.com to get your flights. I hope we create lots of jobs and build something that we can all be proud of.
Okay, thank you, Tony. If you can remain on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with a photo opportunity. And for that, I would like to invite Datuk Kamaruddin Maranun as well as Irene Omar to join Tony on the stage for this photo opportunity. Media friends, this is your photo opportunity.
Huh? What?
Okay, few more shots perhaps. Okay, so after this, we will be moving on to the media Q&A session. So thank you, media photographers. Datuk Din, Tony and Irene, if you could remain on stage. Before we begin our Q&A session, I would like to also invite the rest of the panelists up on the stage. Karen Chan, CEO, AirAsia.com. Pete Charan Wongsak, CEO, Teleport. Spencer Lee, CEO, Big Rewards, and Naveen Rajagopalan, Deputy CEO and co-founder of Big Pay. If you could kindly join everyone here who is on the stage to be part of the Q&A panel.
I'll just hold it. Yeah.
Okay. Great, we have everybody we need on the stage, and we can begin with our Q&A session now. If you have any questions, media friends, kindly do raise your hand, state your name and publication, and one of my friendly colleagues will pass you the microphone. Yeah, there's one right here in front.
Can we put the house lights up? This lights on us is... It's okay.
Can we start with the question over here?
Hello, my name is
Can you
Zach.
turn the music down? Much as though I love it.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zach. I'm actually from the representative for the Daily Mirror in the UK. I was wondering to any of the speaker or Tony, is this AirAsia Digital is moving away from this aviation business post-COVID, or this is a plan B if COVID-19 is deteriorating all over the world? And the second thing is, I'm not sure if you know, because I also write in Australia, Qantas has done a boomerang flight to key tourist spots, and the $787 flight was sold in 10 minutes. So is AirAsia looking into domestic boomerang flight at any point? Thank you.
No, this is plan A. Plan A was always to diversify our revenue. This journey didn't start during COVID. This journey started 2 years ago. And obviously, it has accelerated because we had that time. Oh, I suppose I can talk from this, sorry. Sorry. A bit old-fashioned. Not used to this Steve Jobs presentation up on a big TV screen, cinema screen. So anyway, going back to the question, no, it was plan A. Plan A was always that we had this great data. I think airlines don't realize how great their data is. But the second point of our data is that it's ASEAN. I think one thing missing from the presentation is that our aim is to be an ASEAN super app, where Big Pay said very clearly they're going to be an ASEAN digital bank. Big Rewards is very ASEAN. Teleport is really focused on its delivery to be super fast and super efficient within ASEAN. Of course, within Asia as well, but our strength is in ASEAN. So it is not plan B, but obviously we've accelerated this plan A in this post-COVID world, but we think aviation will definitely come back. We can see from our domestic flights, I just had friends texting me saying, well, all your flights are full. And we just have to wait for the borders to be open. We hope that will be imminent. I think two things that are moving in our favor. One is the vaccine, and two, which is not written about enough, is that people are recovering very fast. The death rates have dropped dramatically, and many people just get the cold. We obviously get a lot of information from India, and even older people. Some of our parents of our staff have recovered very quickly, and they're much older. So air travel is not about getting out of aviation. It's very much about the aviation complements what we're doing. But AirAsia Digital can also run on its own without aviation. So it's a fantastic scenario that we're in right now. Second, flight to nowhere. We got to look at it, I suppose. But with AirAsia, you can fly to somewhere. So I don't really think, you want to go to Langkawi, you can go to Langkawi. I don't know whether people want to do air tours around KL, maybe. But right now we believe if you want to go for a flight, go and book a flight, buy our unlimited very soon, and fly somewhere, not anywhere. But if there's a demand, and people just want to get on a plane and look out the window, If you're not in the window seat, then you have a problem. But there's a revenue opportunity there. We will charge more for the window seats if we do those flights. But at the moment, I'm not a big believer in it because I think in Singapore you can't fly anywhere. So that's why probably you have to do a flight to nowhere. But in Malaysia you can fly to a lot of places. So if you want to fly, book a flight now on AirAsia.com.
Okay, thank you. And we have one more question over there. Yes.
Sorry, I've got 3 quick questions, Tony.
Sure.
The first one is, I guess, okay. So how much does it rub you the wrong way, I guess, that a company like Traveloka is valued at multiple times the AirAsia market cap, when you obviously bring so many more assets to the table versus them? That's one. And how much of a driver is that for this? And then the second question is, I guess it feels like you could almost separate out AirAsia Digital and go talk to Amazon or Alibaba or Tencent and say, hey, you want a piece of this, and them inject a few billion US dollars into you and you run much faster instead of doing it yourself. And then the third thing is the people, right? So everyone there is a professional manager, except for Navin and Chris. I see they're co-founders. So the perception is that if you're a founder, you'll walk through walls, you'll stay awake at night, multiple nights thinking about things, whereas the rest of them will not. So the edge is blunted. So how do you respond to this? Thanks.
Okay. Wow. They're not 3 quick questions. But how much does it rub me up the wrong way? Look, the market is a market. That's what today's about. People don't really understand the huge value AirAsia is. That's where our stock price is where it is. So that's education, and that's people believing in it. So we'll just continue that story. Today's part of that story. And so, we can't second guess the valuation, but we'll just continue telling the story. I think we have a far better story than some of the companies that are being mentioned, and a far better future, and a far less cash burn, because me and Din started this airline with 1 ringgit, right? So our DNA is all about cash and building. You can ask any of the guys here. So, yep, that's up for the market to decide whether they think we can deliver and what value they think we have, and time will tell. I think we've delivered an airline before. We've delivered a digital strategy in building a huge internet platform before any of these guys had come along. Your second part is, yep, we can separate it out. It's not the plan at the moment, but never say never. But that doesn't preclude taking in investment from anyone to help us speed up. But we're not here to raise billions and billions and spend it all. We don't think what we have, because of our data, requires huge amounts of capital. And it's proven in BigPay. BigPay has built a bank, really, for a very little amount of money. And most of that money was spent in interchange fee. So our roots are all about spending less and making money. And so, and we don't need that massive amount of capital to acquire customers. We have customers who are coming to us every day, right? And with big pay and big rewards and all these things, people will open up the AirAsia.com app much more often than just when they want to buy a flight. And that's the whole logic. In terms of running through walls, I mean, they're all going to get stock options, but I don't think they're driven. We built an airline. Not everyone was an entrepreneur in the airline, just me and Din, right? And we didn't do everything ourselves. So I think we have an amazing culture, and we have 24,000 staff. We never had a union in that time. So I think, again, I see a lot of these digital companies, staff turnover is high. My downside is, they're all offered jobs now by these digital companies every day. A few of them on this stage have been offered a job. But, I think they like me and Din for the moment. And so, and they enjoy what they're building. It's painful working with us as well. I mean, Navin and his team probably want to stab me many times a day. I definitely want to stab them. So, but that is the energy in AirAsia. We have a lot of really kind of passionate people who want to get things done. You know, Catherine, I don't know why you're not up here, but grab a chair, Catherine and Lalita. Can you get 2 extra chairs, or are we limited by our spend? Do we have 2 more chairs available? We do. We're not so stingy. So Catherine was my executive assistant, and you know, got bored working for me, so wanted to go and do something else. And she and her team have built an incredible brand. They're not shareholders yet, and I don't think they were driven by being shareholders, to be honest. They were driven by doing something and building something that, you know, whatever happens to me and then, no one can take it away from us that we built a great airline. And no one can take it away from Catherine or Irene or Navin or Karen or Spencer or Pete that they're building great products. So money comes, but you can't buy passion and dedication to make things happen. Why don't you come up here, and Lalita? Is there one chair?
We're getting the other chair.
Okay.
Yes.
Sit on Kamaruddin's lap for the moment. Okay. Okay.
Okay, and we actually.
Oh, last question. Do you ask one more question? I'll answer them.
Okay. We will move on to a question from Indonesia, the Jakarta Post. The Jakarta Post is saying Indonesia currently already have big players on logistics, travel, and super apps. What are AirAsia Digital's strategy to compete with its competitors and fit into Indonesia's market?
Yeah, well, in the same way that AirAsia is much smaller than Lion Air, but we fitted into that market. We are nowhere near the size of Gojek or any of these guys. But again, AirAsia is not about being dominant in one country. It's about providing an ASEAN product. And that's the market we want to serve. So we will serve that ASEAN market for Indonesian exporters who want to sell their product to the 700 million people in ASEAN. We will serve that market for Indonesians who want to buy ASEAN products. And we will build our unique, we're not going to announce it today, but we'll build our uniqueness that will be different from the big players in Indonesia. But the number one is, all those brands you mentioned are generally just based in Indonesia, but we're giving a much larger experience. And in the same way, AirAsia has created a great market for Indonesia, mostly in international flights, and we're far smaller than Lion Air. We will do the same.
Okay, thank you.
And just to add, I don't believe we're there to compete. I believe we're there to complement.
Okay.
And just in the same way, of course, airlines always see us as competitors, but we complemented the full-service airlines. We created a new market that just wasn't there. Only a few people could fly. Now everyone can fly. And so in the same way, we'll complement the market.
Okay, thank you. So the Jakarta Post, as you are, tuning in, hopefully that answers your question. And before we continue with the next question, can we have both Catherine and Lalita up on stage? Catherine, General Manager of Santan, and Lalita, General Manager for Our Farm. So we're going to take a question from the Bangkok Post, who is also tuning in to this media briefing. They are asking, is AirAsia seeking VC or other investors to grow the user base of the super app to compete with Grab and Gojek?
Yeah. Wow. Gone from Singapore Airlines and MAS to Grab and Gojek.
Exciting times.
At least
yes.
they're different colors. Green. We're still red. So, yeah, for sure. In the same way AirAsia raised capital, me and Din, our first capital was raised with private equity money. Our second capital raise was a IPO. We will do the same. Exactly the same.
Oh, okay. And next, we have a question for Datuk Kamaruddin, actually. AirAsia Digital looks set to propel the AirAsia Group into the next level from here. Would you like to share some of your thoughts about this, especially on the potential of all the ventures under AirAsia Digital?
First, let me add on what Tony said earlier on. We started this digital, we never knew there's COVID coming, right? So it's always been the progression of AirAsia to start up its own digital arm. That's why you can see 2 years back, 2018. we had a conference among the staff and called Digital 3.0, is it?
Yeah.
So we've gone into Digital 3.0. We may not have the entity that we have today, but we have started that initial journey. And it's a normal course of the business. The initial business entity was set up to complement. And then as we grew the company, you see a lot of entities who add on. Because it just, because of the COVID, it actually accelerated some of the entities that we wanted to set up in that progression. Anyway, I think all the entities within the AirAsia Digital, some of it may be more mature than the others, but all the entities that we've seen has huge potential, especially now with the COVID. The acceptability of digitalization is more than before. So people readily accept the fact that you don't have to go to a grocery store, you can dial in or you can just zoom in and then get your orders delivered to the house. So lifestyle have changed. And as you know, we started with aviation, but always been a lifestyle group of companies. We've got into great things that people were wondering what we'll be doing when we sponsored Manchester United, when we're doing all those stuff. But actually we're building a lifestyle that not many people can afford, but today a lot of people will be able to afford those kind of lifestyle. So if you ask me, sorry, long answer to a short question, ask me whether there's potential. I think there's huge potential. Unfortunately, AirAsia alone is only being covered by aviation analysts. So a lot of focus has only been aviation. So you look at a lot of issues on fuel, on foreign exchange and whatever not. But this huge part, which is 100% owned by AirAsia, has a lot of potential that has not been factored in. So if you look at it, I believe there's a lot of potential in AirAsia as a group. Whether we demerge it, whether whatever we do it, as it stands right now, it's still 100% owned by AirAsia and offers a lot of potential and prospect. Some of it may be earlier on than the others, as some of the companies we started earlier on and have somewhat matured and ready for the next phase.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Din. We have another question from up there. Yep. Please go ahead.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Nadia here. The one thing that struck me as you were going through your entire presentation was that snapshot of how many hubs you have, how many planes you have, how many offices you have all over. And you actually said, whether it's throwaway or not, that's going to change post-COVID. So how is that going to change post-COVID? Do you have an idea where the airline business is going to look like alongside the digital business? And the other thing was, you mentioned that you think profitability comes very soon. What do you mean by soon? Do you have a timeline, an expectation? Because digital companies are famous for burning cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll end with your airlines were famous for burning cash until AirAsia came along, right? So the similarity between airline when me and Din started 19 years ago and this digital journey is uncanny when you look at Shopee's results and some of the other digital companies. So all of these companies, bar Big Pay, are making money. And Big Pay is only because of the interchange fee, which we're discussing with the regulators. So, we're making money now. And I hope to continue to do that and grow that. I think all our destinations will still be in operation. The frequency may not be as great initially. We don't know what a post-COVID world is going to look like. But if you look at domestic, that's a great snapshot, right? We're launching a new route next week. Right? Not many airlines are launching new routes. Thailand has launched 2 new routes, and we're launching Kuching, Langkawi very soon. We're doing many more interior routes in East Malaysia, and the demand is there. So I think from an AirAsia standpoint, I can only talk from an AirAsia standpoint, I think business travel, intercontinental travel, first-class travel is going to take longer to rebound. But short-haul travel has proven already with our domestic, both Thailand and Malaysia, we're about 70% load factor already. and we keep adding capacity. Thailand's about 80% of pre-COVID, and Malaysia's about 60% pre-COVID. And so that's my only yardstick. But I think extending that to Thailand, so Malaysians flying to Phuket, to southern China, eventually to Indonesia and Philippines, will come back much faster than the others. So on your map, I think we'll have the same number of destinations. Frequency may be a little bit less for a while. But profitability will be up because there's a lot less capacity in the market. And I think I answered. Did I answer all your questions? Yeah. Sorry, that's a
We will keep
that's
the question to
separate
AirAsia
question.
Digital. Yes, thank you very much.
If I may add on to what Tony just said, I think aviation will still be there. There's still a need for aviation because you look at the geographical location of where we are in, you still cannot replace air travel. Because just compare Malaysia, East Malaysia and West Malaysia, you still got to fly to Sabah, Sarawak. There's no easy way of doing it. I think the government tried ferry Malaysia and whatever not over the years. But obviously what we've proven is that affordable fare would be able to connect these two. And the same is Indonesia. So it's all divided by bodies of water, so many islands. So how do you connect them? So I think the role for aviation will still be there. You know, so it's just a question of time when they found a vaccine or people start opening up. So I'm not too worried about the aviation side. And as far as the digital side, some of the companies in AirAsia Digital are already businesses within AirAsia that we took it out as a company, etc. It's already business. Santan is part of AirAsia, is doing very well. Its logistics was also a cargo division in AirAsia. AirAsia.com, when AirAsia started, we were looking at other OTAs and you're paying the same thing. So now we're just extracting businesses within the group into corporate entity. And as I said, some of it maturity because it's already there for the decade. As far as spending on a tech company and all that, huge money has been spent in developing the tech as well as acquisition. So as Tony pointed out in his first presentation, a lot of these acquisitions are done for virtually free because we already have the data. Some of them have to induce people to use the thing so they'll be able to collect the data. We have the data readily available for the team that we set up an analytics team to actually determine from this raw data for all the various businesses. So in terms of cost, in terms of development cost, it will probably be setting up the platform. But the platform, you can actually template. There's huge platform out there. It's just that you've got to realign it and make sure that it's in tune to whatever business you're developing. But having said all that, all of these are readily available within the AirAsia Group. It's just extracting them out and putting them in the right places. It's like jigsaw puzzle. So we believe we'll be able to go out there, offer these businesses at the lowest cost possible. Yeah. So that will answer, I think, your question on cost of setting up a digital company on the fate of AirAsia going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we will move on to one question from the regional media. We have a question from a media in the Philippines who is very interested about Santan. This media in the Philippines is asking what are Santan's expansion plans in that country and especially in Manila.
Yes, we do have plans to expand to Santan, especially in Manila next year, hopefully.
Okay.
But of course, we are planning to expand to China and UK, especially for next year, Q1 and Q2. So hopefully by Q4.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
Catherine. And now we're going to take one more question from the hall. Yep.
Just want to check, has BigPay, has it received the digital banking license from Bank Negara?
No one has. Bank Negara is still in the consultation phase, and I think I've been told, I'm not sure it's accurate, but end of the year they will finalize that and then put out the terms. And we've been told 5 digital bank licenses will be given out. So they haven't. The process hasn't started.
Okay, and we have one more question coming in from the Philippines, and the question is for Tony. When do you plan to start this super app in the Philippines? And are you looking for a local partner? And are there any regulatory approvals that you need to start this in the Philippines?
Yeah, I mean, the app is open in the Philippines now. We're now starting to build the content from the Philippines. We are very, very excited by, logistics is opening, the hotel supply is opening, all these things are opening. And so we're moving on some of the products, Big Pay, etc. Potentially we'll look at local partners. But Big Rewards is already in the Philippines. I think Catherine is a bit I think Santan will open much earlier than Q4. So so everything is moving, but I'm very excited about the Philippines. The digital nature of our business is really fitted for the Philippines, especially in the e-commerce and logistics platform and the fintech platform. So on some products we may look at partners, but starting from today, Philippines is open for business for us.
Okay, Manila Standard, who is tuning in, I hope that answers your question, and we will take one more question from here. Yes.
Hi, here. Zarina from Bernama.
Zarina from Bernama, just right here in the middle.
Sorry.
Hi, Tony.
Yes.
Wow, it's nice to see a full hall, even though we kind of got lots of X's everywhere.
You have big space here. I just want to clarify with your answer earlier. When you mentioned that you're going to raise capital to fund the super app, what sort of capital you're looking at? Is it through bonds, suku, or borrowings? And then the second thing is we don't know when the borders will be reopened. And being the low-cost airline, is this going to be a competitive advantage for you to recover faster compared to the premium airline?
Yeah. Well, how do I answer that properly? Diplomatically, it's not my strength. I think, I wouldn't say it's a competitive advantage. I think it's the model, the low-cost model, you can see it in Europe anyway, is definitely going to bounce back faster than the premium model, long-haul model. I think the premium short-haul model will be strong as well. I think, not everyone wants to fly AirAsia. People want to fly on a full-service airline as well, to Phuket or to Bangkok or to Jakarta. So I think short-haul travel will bounce back faster. I think in the economic climate we're in, low-cost travel will have an advantage because our fares will be more affordable and people will look for value. In terms of capital, we don't have a number. We're not. Could be convertible, could be debt, could be equity. We're just starting that process. Our head of strategy and Irene are running that process, but we don't need a lot. I mean, we built this all on our own capital so far, just like we built AirAsia on our own capital. So we will see. We have some debt capital coming in. Actually, I just remembered that has been secured for a part of the group, Teleport and Santan, our farm, and that will be announced soon. And then Irene is looking at convertibles and equity.
Okay, thank you. And we have one last question. Actually, there are quite a few media from several countries, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and even Singapore, who would like to know more about what was mentioned about cargo earlier, because the word new cargo was mentioned earlier. So they would like to know what kind of new cargo, get an elaboration on that, and what are the routes that would be cargo only.
Okay. I'll just answer very briefly and then pass it on to Pete. When we say new cargo, we mean new ways of using us to get your cargo shipped. So right now, many people use many intermediaries. The platform Pete is building is that you can buy our cargo directly from us, direct space from us. It's exactly like AirAsia, where there were a lot of travel agents in between and intermediaries. AirAsia.com came along and you can buy a ticket directly from us. We're doing the same for cargo. I don't think we're carrying any. We got a few more exemptions. Riyadh has cleared that we can now carry some dangerous goods that we didn't have approval for before. That includes carrying people like Riyadh, who is dangerous with his mask. And but it's not any form of new cargo. And cargo-only routes, I think Pete will tell you there are quite a few that we're operating now, only cargo only. So I'll leave the rest to Pete.
Well, I'm glad there's a question about cargo. It normally doesn't excite people, but certainly in this period, we've done more than 1,000 flights of flying just cargo only. And I think a lot of that has been healthcare, PPE, supporting governments and agencies in moving things around, right? But I think what's really important for us is when we looked at our network, which I think is understated in terms of the value, only about 20% of our destinations really have, kind of recurring cargo demand. And the rest is really to cities with a lot of population, a lot of people that buy things online, but actually have no way to get it to them in the shortest and most affordable way possible. And so when we look at Southeast Asia as our playground, we look at the 87 cities that we fly to, we look at a lot of those cities that really have no cargo demand or no e-commerce demand today that we want to serve to consumers there, because we fly there and it's honestly the best and fastest and cheapest way to send something from A to B. And so I think that's what really is what we mean when we say we're building, an infrastructure under Teleport. That's really what we're trying to do. And it's one of those things that, you really don't know it until you experience it, where it's just like, you have a bad experience kind of waiting a long time to receive something, or your package is damaged, or it just takes ages and no one really knows where it is. I think we want to change that experience. And so I think, if there's one thing we want to say is that, you'll know the value of us when we can actually deliver to you. And so that's where we are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Pete. And that wraps up our media briefing for today. And before we end, we would like to have one final photo opportunity.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
We didn't cover it in the presentation, but there are two more opportunities for us. One is, three opportunities. One is this platform is open to anybody that wants to work with us as well. We don't have to develop anything ourselves. So, there's no secret. We're working with Azran and the Naluri team to try and do something on the health side to use this. This platform is about democracy, is about giving the small guy a chance as well. So if there are apps that need traffic, and is a great idea and can complement what we're building, Pablo and his team is building an API stack that will be easy for you to integrate it. And so we want to give the small guys a chance as well to be able to get traffic from ASEAN, and this can be from anywhere in ASEAN, to be able to use the power of our app. This whole thing is about democracy, just like we did with flying. It's about restaurants not being able to share the data. In many of the food delivery, they don't get the data. We think they should get the data. It's about restaurants putting their own menu up there as opposed to being told what to put up. So we're trying to democratize everything and allow everyone to benefit from what we've built as well. So that's one. Two is so you understand why are we in a record company? Because content is important. Me and Kamarudin came from content. And if we don't build our own content, and it's not just music, we have our own editorial content, etc., then we will be slaves to our good friends at Google, not cloud advertising, who are not really my friends, and the Facebook, who definitely is not my friend. So we want to build content so people will stay with us. And building content also opens us up to more relationships. The music relationship we have with Universal is unbelievable. It's not just about that great artist that you just saw. It's about other relationships we have developed, which you'll see. And the third thing is we're a great advertising platform. There are many companies who want to advertise with us. If you look at Amazon, they make a huge amount from advertising products, etc. So we have a fantastic company under Karen. I was just checking, actually. We're really quite diverse. How many women and men are there here? Navin's kind of a woman anyway, but we're pretty diverse. So, and you got the Riyadh chair, did you? The shorter one. So Karen has built a very strong, and we're not just on. The other powerful thing about advertising is we're advertising in the air. So when you fly on AirAsia and you log on to AirAsia.com, we have at the moment, more than 5 million people already that have access to that. So I think I want to end on the fact that everything has a reason, from music company to moving boxes to food. It's about building a whole lifestyle. And very soon we will work with our sister mobile phone company, which is another platform, TuneTalk. And Irene's working with the insurance company, Tune Protect, and maybe one day they're part of this whole system. So everything's about this ecosystem where everyone kind of benefits, and that enables us to be much more profitable by everyone benefiting from this ecosystem. And the very last thing is we're ASEAN. That's our playground. That has been our playground from the moment me and Din started this airline. So thank you very much for coming. It's great to see so many people. Thanks for the great questions, and wish us luck on this journey, which is very exciting for all the team. And please download Passcode onto your Spotify playlist or Apple Music playlist or Juke's playlist. It's a great song. It's really gathering momentum, and it'd be great to have a worldwide hit. I mean, it's unbelievable that our artist is on Def Jam, probably the most iconic label in America, has decided to release Janine and Polydor in Europe. So that just shows the ambition, the power of what we can do at AirAsia, that we can sign a 19-year-old Thai-German girl, and now she's on a worldwide release. It's streaming really high in Japan. I just got the report this morning. So thanks a lot. So your mission in life is to use only AirAsia.com, fly only on AirAsia.com, eat only at Santan, listen only to one song, and only use our cargo company going forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And can we have everyone together in the middle for a photo opportunity, please?
Put the mic down low.
Be with you, 'cause I like you, I really like you, but I've been through the fire too many times, so I gotta know, 'cause I really like you, want you inside too, but I've been through the fire too many times, so I gotta know. Oops, did I say too much too soon? Oops, didn't wanna play it cool. Oops, I can't pretend, think we could be more than friends. Oops, did I say too much too soon? You're lying, you could go. I need honesty, transparency, no sugarcoats, no I don't know. Give you all of me, but give me all the tea. Just let it flow, 'cause I got to know what I'm getting into. Don't keep it confidential, it could be monumental.
Okay, thank you everyone. That concludes our media briefing for today. Media friends, we have refreshments served on the right-hand side. You need to exit on the right-hand side of this hall towards the refreshments area. I was told nobody is allowed to exit from the back, so you need to come down to the right-hand side of the hall to exit this place. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.